that. And oh, here we go. We are being recorded, people. Smile. No. All right. So we are going to be talking about secondary financial literacy resources today. I am excited to share some of our channels, but we also will dig in just a little bit to how to navigate Discovery, just in case some of you are new to it. So here we go. Without further ado, I don't want to keep you waiting. So I am Jen Moss. A little bit about what I do. I'm the Nevada Partnership Manager. I'm sure some of you have seen my name, gotten my emails, but I am just making sure that everyone is taken care of during our partnership with NDE and Nevada Gold Mines. We just want to make sure that you feel comfortable using Discovery, and then of course that you have the resources that are going to help you in your classroom. So I have up here my email. It is jmoss@discoveryed.com. If you need help with anything Discovery Ed, any questions, even if you want like a classroom visit, anything at all, please just send me an email and we will make things happen. So I am at your disposal and here to support you. So our agenda for today, we will just talk about a quick session overview. I gave you a little hint already, but we are going to talk about how to navigate the platform, definitely go over those resources. That's the beef of our presentation today. And then you will get a resource guide as well as access to all of today's slides. And then hopefully we'll have a little bit of time toward the end for you to have some Q&A, and I will share some upcoming events and opportunities. So starting with our session overview, as I mentioned, we're going to focus on making sure you feel confident navigating the platform, just knowing where things are. But then also highlighting those easy to use financial literacy resources. And if there's time for it, I would love to talk about how you can take those resources and pair them with something like Quiz or Studio that we have within the platform to even further pump up your engagement. So let's talk about how to get in. It is a little bit different in every district, but one sure way is to go to discoveryeducation.com. You will see here that you have some different options available to you. You can certainly sign in with Clever, ClassLink, Microsoft, Google, any of those great things. And if all of those are not fitting, you can certainly search for your school. In the meantime, I am also going to share, I have a general Nevada teacher login just in case you have any trouble today. So this is something that you can use temporarily, just so that you can see the resources that we talk about today. Are there any questions on how to get in? All right, so I would love for you, if it is possible for you, to go ahead and sign in and just, you can kind of surf around and look at these resources with me. I think it's always great to do as you learn. And again, my email's on the screen. If you're having any type of account trouble, please let me know and we'll make sure that everything gets fixed up. All right, so with that being said, we are going to take some time now to navigate together. So this is what it's going to look like once you get into Discovery. This is our homepage that we're looking at here. And I want to point out just a few of our main features here. Off to the side, you have your global navigation. So really depending on how you like to surf around the site, you can certainly use these side buttons, or you can use the navigation here across the top. You have your Discovery Education icon. This is going to always take you back to your homepage. So no matter where you are in Discovery, what you're caught up in terms of our great content, this will always get you back to your homepage. And then with our search bar here, I like to point out that you have options. So you can certainly type in your search. That's option 1. Option 2 is speaking your search. So this is really great, not just on the teacher side, but also great on the student side. If you have students that are maybe not fully confident in their typing or spelling skills, this is a great way for them to still navigate our content. And I'm going to show you now just a brief how do you search. I'm going to do an open search here, meaning I'm not putting anything specific into my search bar, but I just went ahead and clicked our search here. And then from here, you can drill down into different resources. So if I go into social studies, and then I'm actually go into our secondary here. So if I go into social studies and then click on our 6-8 and 9-12 content, you're going to see everything that pops up here is appropriate for those grade levels. And then you can dig in even further into the different types of resources that we have within the platform. And also want to call out on the side here that you can filter into copyright, languages, all sorts of great things. So that is just a brief overview of how to search within Discovery. And I'm going to actually use my Discovery icon to get me back home here. I also wanted to point out that we have over here one of our ways of saving content. This is called the quick list. So as we look at different resources, if there's anything here that you definitely want to make sure that you come back to, you can click on 3 dots here, and then you would choose that add to quick list option. So if you are coming across resources that you are sure you want to be able to use in the classroom, those 3 dots and then add to quick list is a great way to do that in a swift manner. And I'm going to pause again. Any questions about searching or saving? And I'm giving you the very quick overview, but just anything that's coming up, happy to answer questions as we go. All right, I'm going to carry on. I will pause if I see anything come up. I'm going to point out some kind of easy to use things here. My Classrooms is exactly what it sounds like. It's where you're going to find your rosters, your classrooms. If you do have a common issue is that sometimes those classrooms get stuck there. They do come in through Clever and all of those different systems. So if there are more classrooms than you think you should be seeing, there is certainly a way to archive those classrooms and make sure that you're decluttering your classroom area. I do want to also say here that you do not have to assign our content through the platform. So just speaking to how you can get that information out to students, you have options. I'm in a channel right now, so it's going to look a little different, but you have this share button. So through the share button, you can certainly copy a link and then give all of those links out, whether it's, through Google Classroom, Canvas, email, whatever it is that you're using. I do have a lot of teachers that use these in their learning plans. So just want to give you some options here as far as how to get that content out to students. So we are working really nicely with Google Classrooms, which I know is used in a lot of places in our state, as well as Canvas, where we are fully integrated. So it is really wonderful to share that we are trying to make that process easier. So that is how you can get that content out. And then back up here, we have our My Content area, which is another way to save content within Discovery. I'm not going to go too deep here, but essentially it's like a filing cabinet where you can create folders and then put that content into the folders. And then we have our kind of engagement / creation tools here. So we have Quiz, where we do have a quiz library, lots of ready to use activities. We have Studio, where you can build out slideshows, boards, thinking about like choice boards and great things like that. You can certainly build them here, or a lot of our ready to use content will open up into Studio. And then we have our assessment builder, exactly what it sounds like. This is really wonderful if you're doing any type of common assessment and, wanting to share those resources out as a grade level or group. I'm going to skip Explore for just a moment here and move on to Browse Standards. So this is a great place to go if you are looking for the standards. This is also an area of improvement all the time. As you know, standards change often. So we are always trying to keep those updated. And then we also have our educator supports. I'm going to pop in here for just a second so you can see what you have here in terms of support outside of just myself. You do have a Getting Started tab. So this is wonderful if you need more time to look at how to assign and share to students, or if you want to dig deeper in how you can find, save, and play media, you can certainly come in here and look at these step-by-step guides. You also have a instructional strategy tab. This is another one I want to point out just because, again, you have some amazing resources here at your fingertips. You have PDFs that you have full access to. This is all included in our Discovery Education experience. And this is something that you as a public school teacher or a public charter teacher already have access to. So this is not something that you have to purchase separately. This is all something that you can get to right now. And we will be, our current partnership is contracted through the end of the 23-24 school year, but then we'll be up for renewal again. And hopefully I will get to continue supporting you. So this is just a great place to go. You can come in here and see all of these great instructional strategies, and these can really be used with any grade level, as well as any grade subject. We do have student-facing videos here. So if you wanted your students to see how an activity should play out, this is definitely a great way to show them before they do a particular activity. And then we also have a section here for professional learning. There are some really great micro learnings in here. I love that it's on demand. But in addition to this, I do provide virtual professional learning statewide. So if there is a particular subject that you want to dig into, I'm always happy to create my presentations based on your needs. But right now we are doing financial literacy sessions. Next month, we're going to be doing community building and wellness. So just want to plug those really quick in case you are looking for professional learning opportunities. And all of that is free to you as it is covered by the partnership. All right, so that is kind of our great overview of Discovery Education. It was quick, but hopefully helpful. Even if you haven't been in a while, you'll probably notice that some things look different. We are always dynamic, always just making sure that we keep up with the changing times in education. So always open to your feedback. We love to hear feedback, love to improve wherever we can. So I would love to hear from you if there's anything that could be better or easier on you as an educator. All right, so now we are going to get into those great resources for financial literacy. One of our first sections that we're going to dig into here is our channels. So a Discovery Education channel is a place where you can get to lots of different types of resources grouped by a common subject. So I just want to say what it is before we dig into these. So the first one I'm going to show you here is our financial literacy channel. You'll see that you do just have to click on your different grade levels here to make sure that the content coming up is appropriate. I know that we've had some big excitement in my virtual sessions about these presentations that we have. So these, again, are ready to use. These are things that you can assign out to students, things that you can just, use right away in the classroom. And with any of our ready to use, you also have the ability to modify. So if there is anything in there that you feel, could be worded differently or just make it feel more authentic to you, that is certainly something that you're able to do. So I'm going to open up one of these just to give you an idea of what it will look like. So you'll see here that we have opened up an activity. It is open in Studio. And one of the first things I want to point out to you is that we have Immersive Reader. So with Immersive Reader, it is going to open up into kind of a separate window, but then you have the ability for these assignments to be read to students. You also have the ability to translate. So if I want to translate an entire document into Spanish, that is something that I have the capability to do. So this is all within Studio, and we do have a lot of ready to use here, but then you can also create your own. So if there are activities that you want to build out and then make those more accessible to your students, you can certainly use Studio to do so. And I'm going to pop back in here. And I mentioned earlier that if you wanted to modify, that was something that you are able to do. You're just going to make a copy of that ready to use content. And then you can come in here, switch out questions, switch out activities. You'll see that right now we are in a draft mode. So to get out of that draft mode, we're going to pretend like I've made changes here. We'll go ahead and click share and then click share again. You'll see that we are out of draft mode, and now you can go ahead and share that content with students, whether it is through the platform or if you want to grab a link and share it out a different way. All right, I'm going to click here again just to get myself back. And then I'm going to take us back here. I will go back into that financial literacy channel. And I'm going to point out just that we have that ready to use content here. We also have great videos. I know that a lot of you probably know Discovery Education for Video, but we certainly have more than that. So we have definitely grown, and we still have that great video content, but now we have that ready to use content. You'll see here that we have some great partnerships. One of our greatest partnerships is with Discovery. With Discover Card. I always get those two mixed up, but just wonderful to be able to share that we have so many great things happening here. I will show you more. This pathway to financial success is going to be a big hit, I think, with all of you. So let's go ahead and get in there now. So you'll see here that you have a middle school and a high school option. And then you have a fully built out modules here. So you have a educator guide that you can dig into. But then you have an entire unit 1 that is going to help you kind of go down that path with your students. You have both video, you have a guide here for students only, for teacher only. I feel like it is really comprehensive. And while you have one here for middle school, you also have one for high school. So you see here, you've got your modules. So you've got some really great content here, and you can pick and choose what works best for your classes. But I definitely could not talk about financial literacy without showing you this. And then if we want to go real quick into the high school side of things, you'll see here under high school that those activities do look different. So you can definitely use them in combination with each other. But now we're going to see some of those investigations pop up. And these are interactive activities. So this is going to, take students down a pathway. You'll see here that they have steps that they have to go through. And then for that proof of learning piece, you can have them print out or send you, a screenshot of their certificate. So this is just a really great within platform activity that you can give to your students, just to kind of enhance what you're already doing in the classroom with your financial literacy. Do I have any questions here? before we continue on? I hope you're getting excited. I hope that there are things here that you're like, yes, I can definitely use that. So going to pop in here now. So this is another great one. So this is a channel that really, I feel, celebrates that entrepreneurial spirit, but at the same time is going to give them some of the basics of financial literacy. So as we look here, you're going to have some videos that you can pair up with these classroom activities. You do have, again, a presentation that you can show before students dig into the activity portion of the lesson. You also have some of these great interactive lessons. So again, these are those ready to use lessons that you can dig into. And as you're looking, if you're with me on this, I don't know if you've used your search and are with me looking at these different channels, but I certainly encourage you to save things as we go. So if there's an activity, you're just going to click on those 3 dots, add it to your quick list, and then you can always come back to that later. But definitely want to point out all of that great content that we have here. And there is so much crossover into some of our other areas. So, you know, a lot of our financial literacy is also going to pair nicely with our careers. So there are some really great things that you can dig into here. All right, so that was our financial literacy channel. Our Pathway to Financial Success in Schools channel, our Discover Venture Valley channel, and then you have your Girls for Tech channel. So this is where some of that career crossover comes in. So you're going to see in here some related financial literacy careers that they talk about. These come in multiple languages. So that's the relationship that we're seeing here. Also want to point out that we have our Cheddar K through 12. So in here, you're going to have some explanations in terms of questions that come up about business and some of those other areas that we sometimes pair up with financial literacy. So these are wonderful channels that you can certainly get creative with. I would say, you know, these top 3 are kind of your very straightforward financial literacy content. The last 2 I put in there because they can also be used to pair up once students have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the area of financial literacy. They can also begin to integrate some of those ideas. All right, so let's keep moving along here. I also have a great channel to share with you called Money, very appropriate in talking about financial literacy. So I have highlighted over here, when you do get these slides, you will have access to just some of this content that I thought was really pertinent to financial literacy. Just like I picked out some of our best stuff to curate here. But I'm going to take us into that Money channel and again show you that you have the ability here to drill down into the 6-8 or the 9-12. If there is a channel that you're coming across and you want to make sure that you put that channel on your homepage, you're going to go ahead and click on the bookmark, and then that will go ahead and add it to your homepage. So again, just making that content easier to get to. So here we have some of our Discovery Education picks. So this is great. And money, of course, is a very broad subject, but you will be able to come in here and maybe find, you know, a video that you want to start class with, or maybe it pairs nicely with something that you're already doing. So that is what we're here for. We are here to supplement all the great things that are already happening in your classes. So just want to show you some of the ways that we are here to support financial literacy. We have some great reading passages. I know that it can be sometimes challenging to find those reading passages that are good for students. So we have some of those in here. We have some encyclopedia articles. And then on the student side, they also have the ability to search out these things for themselves. Eleanor, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes. I'm just clicking around as you're talking about them also. So some of the activities and videos are like longer, right? Do you guys, I imagine that someone is like watching them all, putting the content up there to where like, do you recommend we watch all of the things we show the kids before having them do it, or?
You know what? I think that you know your kids best. I know that when I was in the classroom, there was some content where I was like, all right, like maybe I want to check this. I feel like with our money channel, there really wouldn't be anything here that would cause alarm. We do have transcripts for most of our videos. So if you wanted to just kind of breeze through one of those transcripts, you don't have to sit and watch the whole video. I know that that's super time consuming. So certainly there are some ways around it. You could even say, hey, I don't have time to watch this video, but hey, Jen, can you watch this video for me and tell me if there's, anything here that is weird or,
Okay.
for your
I was
kids.
just kind of more like wondering, yeah, like who put the videos together to where they're probably.
So we are really careful with our content. We have our like content managers that go through all of it and figure out, what's grade appropriate. And I think that's a great question that you're asking. That's certainly something that we all have to think about in the classroom. So I recommend definitely, taking a look at the transcript. I think that's probably the time saver.
Okay.
But I can help you if there are things that you are, trying to avoid or things that you want to make sure it includes. And then, yeah, anything along the way where I can support, just let me know. Great question.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions? That was a great one. Anything else coming up for you all? All right, I will continue on. Thank you, Eleanor. So I will make sure, actually, I'm going to go ahead and share this with you now since I'm in this channel. It's not hard for me to grab a link and put it in the chat for you. So just in case you want to be taking a look at that money channel, there you go. And like I said here, I have kind of marked some of those great things. We have some infographics. So really just depending on what you're looking for. I definitely wanted to make sure that I put in those educator guides for middle school and high school. That way you can kind of look over, see if those modules are right for your class before you share those out. So another one I wanted to dig a little further into, and we kind of went into this channel, but definitely want to go back to the idea of that Discover Venture Valley. I'm going to drop a link to this one as well, in case you want to search around there for a moment. So in here, you're going to see those videos. And again, some of them are super short. You'll see here, these are like 2 minutes. So we have tried to keep the video portion of it small, but then as I mentioned before, you have a presentation that you can share out and then back up those concepts with a PDF activity that you can of course print, or you can just pass out to students virtually. So whatever works best. And I'm going to go back here for a moment. I definitely want to show you some of our highlights here with video. So I have this financial literacy. This is actually a full video at 3 minutes. But you are going to have some options here. So if I wanted to download this video and put it into a presentation, or if students wanted to download some of these things and add it to presentations that they're making, I just wanted to point out that you have full ability to take these things, download them, and put them wherever it's best to show that content. And then you also have the ability here to assign. So if you're looking at a video and you think, yes, this is great, this is something I definitely want to share out. If you click on assign here, this is where it's going to go to students through the platform. If you click share, it's very similar to clicking those 3 dots that we talked about. And you can just, grab a link to something here or share it in Canvas or Google Classroom, whatever's best. I also, you'll see copied link here as well. But this is where I was talking, not all of our videos have transcript, but a good majority of them do. So you can certainly come to this transcript. This is what I was mentioning earlier. And you can just kind of breeze through and make sure that the content is appropriate for your students and you're feeling good about, putting that out. So I'm so glad you asked that question, Eleanor, because I do feel like that is something that we always have on our brains as teachers, and I just think it's important to know. So again, here, I'm going to show you, since we have a little bit of time, I'm keeping track here. You do have the ability to build out an activity. So with our building an activity, you have options here. You could build a slideshow. So those studio activities that I showed you, you can certainly build one of your own. So I just want to make sure that you have that capability. And it truly is as simple as clicking build an activity. And then there's a few steps that it will take you through so that you can build your own content as well. All right, Brittany, just checking in. How long do I have? I have 5 more minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, I think actually 10
Or am I
minutes.
there? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
5?
it's like 15 minutes
Oh,
actually.
good. That's even
Yeah.
better. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes I get carried away and just want to check in. So I wanted to take some time to show you some of our financial literacy interactives. So if you look through here, I mean, I see this and I think to myself, where was this stuff when I was in school? I could have really used this. I learned all of this stuff the hard way. So, there's a nice interactive that takes them through how to check their credit reports as they get older, renting or buying a home, understanding those different processes. We hear from students all the time, well, I want to be able to use whatever I'm learning in the real world. So I really feel like a lot of this checks those boxes in terms of really giving them content and activities that are going to help them in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and click into this. I will share this in our chat here. So we have a lot of great stuff, and I know it says math, but there is a ton of our math content that really goes nicely with all of our financial literacy content as well. So, just depending on what you're doing in class, maybe you're, going over how to multiply things. And I know that when we were talking about like percentages and things like that, there are always questions that come up. So these are just some helpful interactives that we have. And then you can get further into those other interactives. I'm going to go ahead and click straight into these. So again, you'll see that they have those steps that they can go through: preparing, learning, reflecting, challenge, and then they can get that certificate that is showing that they did that work. Yay, math. Woohoo. All right, we have a ton of math, by the way, so much. So I'm always happy to show you math stuff too. But yeah, so we've got our checking your credit report, our renting or buying a home, all of these great things that you can dig into. I know that one of my favorite math teacher friends, she does a whole unit with students on, a checkbook and kind of just that idea of budgeting. And so much of this, there is that crossover. So certainly you can dig into these as well, and be creative with it. Have fun and find all of those great crossovers in your curriculum. I always love that part as a teacher, like figuring out like where I could collaborate and pull in other content so that it's always making those connections. I think that's such a great piece. So that is our financial literacy interactives that we just talked about, and some of our great math interactives as well. I do want to make sure that you get your resource guide here. So I'm going to just give you that link here in our chat. So this is a guide, but then of course you're going to get the slides as well. So just want to make sure that you get as much as possible. And then I am going to ask you a question now. So I've shown you a lot of resources here. Whether you really took to like the channels, or maybe you took more to the interactives, or maybe you're just excited about videos. I would love to hear just one idea about how you might use these resources in your classroom. So if you could just pop a little idea in the chat, does not have to be fancy or, fully written out, just kind of curious. So gamify learning, I love that. And I know students love that too. Oh, podcasts, great. Presentation. So a quick note on that, Roxanne. So you can create presentations, but students also have access to Studio. So they can build out full presentations. Like if you wanted them to teach about a subject or something that you've taught them, and now they, need to do like a teach back type of situation, they can certainly do that. I saw someone, and it does not sound terrible. It says, when we're absent. So what's beautiful about that is that you can take these resources and yes, you can give them to students, you can plan. I know that you need those days off. So if that is something that you need, then you can use these to just pop in all of that ready to use content. So really, making it easy on you. So don't feel bad one bit. Videos to add and enhance to topics. I love that. Yep, we're here to support. Project-based learning. I love to be a part of that. That's amazing. I love PBL. Show how math is everywhere. Thank you. Yes, that is amazing. And I again feel so strongly, like I know we hear all the time, like kids are like, why am I learning this? But I mean, we see here how many times like you have to think math. You do. It's just something that is good to know. So just want to see, I'm getting everything here. Been using DE Studios Interactives. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I love it. I love it. Academics. Okay, that's another one I'm going to have to plug on the math side again. But if you haven't dug into the academics yet, that is such a fun channel in and of itself. So students have the opportunity in a lot of those academic interactives to play with each other. So it is just like a really great kind of healthy competition in math, which is always awesome. Exploration activities, I love it. And to show videos to help them better understand the topic. Great one, Becky. Thank you all. These are awesome ideas. And I hope like, as we put these ideas in the chat, like take them. I mean, we're, from teaching world, like, when you see an idea, you just have to take it. So if there's anything there that you can dig into, please, that's why we share ideas. And I am always happy to help you plan. If there is, something that you want to use, but you're not sure how to use it, we can schedule one-on-one calls and I can help you get these resources going in your classroom. All right, so I think we have a little bit of time. I would love for you to do a session check-in. So this is separate from anything that NDE is having you do. I just want to say that because I know that sometimes they get mixed up. So whatever NDE is asking you to do, please do it. But this is on the discovery side. So I'm putting a link in our chat. Oh, and it looks like Brittany also put in a couple of surveys for you. So I know if you're feeling overwhelmed by surveys, do the NDE ones first. And then if you don't have time for these, I get it, no worries. But I do want to make sure before you go that you get a copy of the presentation. So I'm going to grab a link to that. And this is, I'll put in here just that it's our slides from today. Oh, it's a long one. Will someone test that link and let me know if it's working right? Because it feels like that's a lot. If that is not a good one, I can figure out a way to give you a better one. Let's see, it is, oh, asking for password. Okay, so let me see if I can give you something better. Thank you for checking. I do not want to leave you without access here. So I'm going to do this instead. And if we could just, I don't know why it wants to always do that. And And let's try this one. So here is hopefully a better link. Thank you all for being here. If you'll test that link for me real quick, I just want to make sure that you do get access to this. Hopefully that one's a go. And I know that you all have to get on to your next presentation here, but would love, love, love your feedback if that is possible, if you have time. So I'm going to give you another quick link here. Oh, thank you, Autumn. I'm glad you told me. So here is our feedback link on today's session. And I'm going to make sure that you get our session ID number. This is what you can use for our check-in as well as the session feedback. There we go. I'll put in here. And anything I'm forgetting, you just email me, let me know.
And then if anybody, just make sure not to leave the room unless you fill out those 2 links for NDE that I pasted in the chat. If anyone has questions about that, just let me know.
I actually have another question for Jennifer when she's done showing us.
Oh, I'm ready. Go ahead.
You had mentioned earlier on about next month there was a community building class.
Yeah.
Where can we get the information for that class?
Okay, so let me first ask, where are you?
In my spare bedroom. No, I'm just kidding. In Nevada.
Are you in Clark County?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are in Clark County School District, our stuff is in Elms. So you can go into Elms, and then you would type in the keyword, I believe it's HUM, and all of the Discovery Ed should just pop up.
Okay.
Also, and again, this is one of those, like, just depends on what school you're in. You should be getting emails from me that also have a link to all of that professional learning. And then if neither of those is working for whatever reason, you can just email me and I'll make sure.
Can you put your email in the chat for us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here we go. There we go. Thank you for asking. And yeah, and by the way, I'm going to keep those professional learnings going even throughout the summer, because I know school year can be crazy busy. So I will make sure that we continue those throughout the summer. And if you have any ideas, like things that you want to make sure that you're getting professional development on, or I should say professional learning on, you just let me know and I'll make sure that I create sessions based off of what you need. Thank you, Katie. Have a great day. If you're leaving me, if you're coming, I'm glad you're here. Oh, good, Roxanne. I'm so happy. Okay, good. I'm always happy to give those overviews, but just I know that I've got people that do a ton of discovery, so it's like just enough. Thank you all, Christina, Becky, Melda, appreciate you.
Jennifer, thank you very much. That was that was really, really, really good. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a great day, you guys. And if you're sticking around, primary is actually going to look really different. So just depends on what you need. Oh, thank you, Valentina. You're so sweet to me. Thank you, Emily. Oh, good. So Roxanne, yeah, we look different now, huh? Like if you haven't been in Discovery for a bit, it's like, wow, we got a makeover. Thank you, Eleanor. Appreciate that question you asked. That was a great one. Something I want to make sure I bring up more. Appreciate that.
All right, so that was the end of session 6, and then we'll be moving to session 7. Let's see, at 2:35. We
Okay.
have about 10 minutes to get started.
Oops. Thank you, Brittany.